Hey guys, Mark McMahon Real Estate. Today I want to talk about the 5 biggest mistakes that you can make as a real estate investor. Guys, there's so many things that I've lost money on over the past 12 years real estate investing, actually 20 years really. And I want to share some of the things that were right at the top of the list that made me lose money or cost me a lot of time or cost me a lot of effort. So if that's something that sounds interesting, please stay tuned. Please subscribe to the channel. Please hit the like button and also sign up for notifications. Allie really likes to see that. So, top mistakes. I'm just going to go 1 through 5, not necessarily in any order. Some of them have cost me more than others, but mistakes are different for everybody. A lot of times when you make a mistake, it might be little to you and it might be huge to somebody else. So, you'll rank your own mistakes someday, but hopefully by listening to this video in particular, you can avoid some of those mistakes and save money and get to your destination faster. So without further ado, let's go right into it. Number 1 is, I'm going to refer to my yellow pad as you guys know. So number 1 is analysis paralysis. I think probably at the beginning, this is like obviously the biggest numero uno mistake that people make. And if you watched my videos before, you know I've talked about it before. You're asking questions that you don't need to know the answers to yet. And it's not because you're wasting time. It's not because you're wasting my time or anybody else's time. You just want to be full of knowledge before you start something. The problem with that is I'm still learning every day. We went through a situation just this morning and last night on a deal that I've never gone through before. I'll share that on another video sometime. But we've done thousands of deals at this point, and it was something new. So you're going to run into things that cause hiccups all the time. So analysis paralysis is something that happens when you overanalyze what you want to accomplish. And like, let's say you're going to buy a car, and you look at 100 different reviews on the car that you want. It doesn't really help because you're repeating the same thing and you tend to kind of go after the answers that you want. If there's a bad review, you tend to kind of avoid it. And if there's a really, really good review, you tend to kind of gravitate towards it. So you're going to analyze in favor of what you want to hear. So you've got to be really, really careful with that. And an example would be someone that maybe wants to know how to set up an entity. Like, you know, I need to set up an S Corp and an LLC so I can, you know, flip in my LLC and hold in my S Corp, or flip in my S Corp or hold in my LLC, whichever, you know, sort of advice you're getting, depending. These are things that aren't so important when you're beginning, and it's going to cause you to not begin. So in the last 4 to 5 years, we've probably appreciated, I don't know, I'd venture to say over $1 million on our properties. Probably that's not even close to what we've made. Had I kept looking and studying for that 4 or 5 years, I would have missed out on that, say, $1 million. So analyzing paralyzes your thought process. You just have a quest for knowledge and you want more and more and more. And every time you watch a video, that brings up more questions. So jump into the game. Don't be stupid. We're going to talk about a couple of other things you want to avoid, but you need to jump into the game. You don't need to know how to set up an LLC and an S Corp when you haven't bought anything yet. You don't need to know a lot of things. So just advice, jump in the game. Number 2, making bad offers. I know lots of guys that put in lots of offers every day. They're wasting their time. Now, I believe in putting offers in every day. Don't get me wrong. I believe in putting good offers in, solid offers, where if you're buying from the MLS, let's just take that for an example. If you're buying from the MLS and you're in your area, you're in your city, and you're located in that city, and you're not actually going out and looking at the property and meeting with the agent, your chances just went down by 50% that you're going to get that property. If you want that property bad enough, you need to establish a relationship with the agent that's selling it, perhaps meet the people that are selling it, you know, as they say, belly to belly. It's super important to remember what I'm saying right now. We have been very successful in this part of the game as far as buying from the MLS. So I would dare say that we're experts at it. And the guys here are masters at establishing relationships and knowing what to say just to get that house. So if you want to learn from the pros, listen to what I'm saying. You need to be belly to belly with the agents. That is what's going to get it. Especially in a market where there's a lot of offers on houses. How do you stand out? Do you write a letter about how excited you are about buying that house because you're going to A, flip it, or B, you're going to wholesale it, or C, you're going to keep it as a buy and hold? No, people don't want to hear that. They want to hear, if you're going to write a letter in the first place, it has to be about how wonderful this neighborhood is for your family and whatnot. That's the only thing that's going to pull on anybody's heartstrings. But even me, when we sell houses now, I'm not even looking at those letters anymore. They don't mean anything to me because I'm getting 17, 18 offers. You know what means something to me? Meeting with a buyer and the follow-up process. Are they to the point where they're almost annoying? I kind of like that. I'll tell you why. If someone's almost to the point of being annoying, that means pretty much once we get into escrow, I think they're going to be really good at follow-up. Now, that's not always the case, but a really high percentage of the time it is. If you want to get the best offer, you want someone that's really, really dedicated to getting the deal done. And if they're dedicated to getting it under contract, chances are they'll be dedicated to closing escrow. So make sure that whatever offers you're writing, you're not wasting your time and everybody else's time just putting blanket offers in on everything. Each offer needs to be looked at, worked on, and cultivated, especially on MLS. All right? That's number 2. Number 3, fudging numbers on analysis. This pisses me off more than anything else out there. We've done multiple videos on numbers. And when you've got your numbers done, they should be done. It shouldn't be, or a little bit more. Whatever numbers you've got, that should be your top number. And that's it. When you hear back from the agent, he goes, yeah, you know what, if you can release all the contingencies and come up $10,000 and blah, 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 you'll get the deal. You might get really excited. It's like, ooh, I'm close, I'm close. But that extra $10,000 may be a deal killer. Guys, don't fudge your numbers just to get a house. In a seller's market, new investors tend to overpay, and they tend to get really excited about getting a deal, even though it's not a deal. I am watching people buying houses during this particular frothy market, and we may, by the time you watch this video, we may not be in a frothy market anymore, but we will be again someday. So mark my words and listen carefully. Do not fall victim to that. In a frothy market, that means we're high anyway. That doesn't mean to pay more, because eventually prices will come down a little bit. So you need to get a good deal to begin with. You need to get a good deal on every property you buy, just in case the prices do come down. All right, so don't fudge your numbers. Never fudge your numbers. Do your numbers up front, stick to them. If it doesn't work, move on, don't waste your time. Number 4, over-leveraging for the next deal. Ooh, is there a lot of talk about this right now? Everybody's talking about the BRRRR strategy, right? All right. The BRRRR strategy has been around forever. It's not a BRRRR strategy. It's just a really cute moniker, or whatever you want to call it, for what people are doing when they buy houses. They're buying it, they're fixing it, they're getting it rented out, they're getting rent, they're refinancing it, and they're doing it over and over and over and over and over. The problem I'm seeing right now with that strategy is that people are buying properties for more money now, and they're still trying to take money out. They want to come out with a profit at the end, and that's just crazy. You know, you need to have some skin in the game. I don't want to see anybody buying a property with not enough money to cover your expenses and rent. Just because you can get money out doesn't mean you should take money out. And the banks are happy to loan you more than they should. That's just always been the case with banks. They're always fine. Oh, you know, if you can take 20 grand out. You want 20 grand? Take 20 out. Great, take it. You got that 20 grand now. Oh, I can buy another property. That's so exciting. Not really. Not if you're over leveraged. So what happens if, God forbid, you have 5 houses and 4 water heaters go out at once, or you get a water heater, an air conditioner, a roof, blah, 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 blah. You're sunk. you are absolutely sunk, especially in the beginning when you haven't saved up a bunch of money for big repairs, for your capital expenditures. So guys, I really, really caution you on taking money out. When you do the Burr method, don't take money out. You don't want to always get your money out. It's always, I know there's a lot of people out there saying it's a really good idea to get more money, get all your money back out and go do it again. You know what's a better idea? Keep saving your money, maybe take a little bit out, and that's it. That's it. Don't take everything out. I want to make sure that you guys have enough skin in the game, enough cash flow that you can keep going if something bad happens. Because guess what? I don't care what happens. There's two things that are going to happen. You're going to lose money somewhere along in the game, and bad things are going to happen to that house or houses. Just going to happen. So be ready for it, and don't over leverage yourself to where you can't afford to pay for it, or you actually end up losing that house and maybe everything else as the dominoes fall. All right? All right, number 5, and this is the last one, not spending 10 to 20% of your time finding alternative funding. All right, guys, I talk a lot about private money. If you really want to be in this game, you don't want to count on funding your own deals every single time. All right, you need to be able to pounce when you see a deal. And the only way that you can do that is if you have private money lined up. If you're not spending a percentage of your time finding alternative funding for your deals, you're missing out on a lot. There's a lot of opportunity out there that happens when you've got quick access to cash. So always be looking for private money. Allie, can you put a couple of videos down below on raising private money? I think that would be a good follow-up to this. So you guys can start thinking about that. Guys, those are my five things. And finding private money is not a mistake, obviously. Not finding private money is a mistake. So those are the 5 things that my sort of real estate pet peeves. And I want you guys to know that stuff. Maybe watch this again, write it down, and talk about, you know, some scenarios with your buddies that are also in real estate, and talk about how to avoid these kinds of things. If you guys are interested in getting started in real estate and you haven't started yet, there's a list down below that you can download. It's free, but it's just kind of a primer on how to get started. It walks you through all the steps. So go ahead and download that. You'll get a lot out of it. And let us know what you think about it, okay, in the comments down below. Also, there's a link down below for our boot camp. We run it every couple of months. If it's going right now, you check the link and see if we've actually got one going. We might be in the middle of one, but then you'll be able to see when the next one starts. Guys, boot camp is the best way to find houses, and that is all we talk about in our boot camp, is how to find houses. And you might say, well, Mark, I want to learn how to flip houses. And I'll say right back at you, do you have the house to flip? So the biggest, most important thing that you can do is find houses, and I can teach you how to do it. All right, guys, thanks so much for being here. If you liked the video, please hit the like button. Please subscribe, sign up for notifications for Allie, and I'll talk to you next time. Hey guys, check out these 2 videos. They're really going to help you on your investment journey. I'm also on Instagram, tons of great video content there, really good stuff. Please subscribe. I'll see you next time.